So I just finished watching Wednesday for the first time, and it was pretty good, but not as good as everyone was saying it was. So when this show came out, I did not watch it for several reasons. One of those reasons was because Stranger Things Season 4 had came out a couple months before, and when it came out, I absolutely hated it. Like, there were so many things in it that I hated, and I said, no, that was bad, that was bad. And everyone else that was watching it said, this is a masterpiece, this is the best Stranger Things that we've had, this is peak Stranger Things, best Stranger Things season of all time. I thought it was freaking trash. When this show came out, it had the same reception. A lot of people were saying, it's amazing, it's perfect, it's a masterpiece, better than Stranger Things. That's the thing, I saw YouTube polls, and people were going, it's better than Stranger Things, it's better than Cobra Kai, and I'm like, what kind of stuff are y'all on? This is not as good as it, This is nowhere near as good as those shows. I was like, this is nowhere near as good as Cobra Kai or Stranger Things. The other reason as to why I didn't watch this show when it came out was because I had never actually seen an Addams Family movie before, or any Addams Family project for that matter. I had never seen anything Addams Family related. I always grew up with Munsters, so I hadn't seen anything Addams Family, right? So I decided to watch the first Addams Family movie for this video, the one in the 90s. I had a lot of fun with it. It was a fun mix of these goofy characters with morbid comedy. I really liked it. It was really fun. Wednesday is a little different though because it is a mystery show. It has this ongoing mystery, and Wednesday is much more morbid in tone than the Addams Family. It has a much more serious and morbid tone. But like I said earlier, I actually liked this show a lot. I had a lot of fun watching it, and I was genuinely invested in several episodes. Did I think it was as good as everyone was saying it was? No, not at all. I thought this show was overrated. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I think this show was overrated. When I watched this show, I thought it was good, but I always thought that it was like the light version of Stranger Things, It wasn't the real Stranger Things with compelling mysteries, flawless acting, and everything. I saw this as Stranger Things light, basically. I feel like it does a lot of the same things as Stranger Things, and I feel like it does some of those things well, but I don't think it does them as well as Stranger Things. It has a mystery, it has a darker tone, it has these mysterious characters, and I feel like Stranger Things takes all of those things that Wednesday does, and I feel like it cranks them up to 100, and it perfects all of those things. I feel like Wednesday is, again, Stranger Things light, again, it does all the things that Stranger Things does, but I don't think it does them as well. There were also some things in this show that I said, that's not too great, or that could have been improved, There were several things in this show that got on my nerves. One of those was the cop. There was this sheriff character, and I don't know, man, maybe it was understandable for the character, but I got kind of annoyed at the amount of times he just shrugs something off. He's like I remember his son, I forgot his name, I think his name's Tyler, his son. He's like dating Wednesday, and then he's just like, I don't want you hanging out with Wednesday or talking to her. And then when he catches them talking, he's like, I don't give a crap. And it's like, what's the point? Like, this guy, I swear, he was like so funny. He's just like, well, I don't give a crap anymore. It was like, the why say anything to begin with? And then he, every time Wednesday presents a clue to this case, this murder case, he's like, no, it's inconclusive. It's like that blonde, you always know, there's always that blonde lady who just shrugs off everything. You know what I'm talking about, right? In every single movie or show, there's always that blonde chief of police that'll dismiss everything. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. This guy's the male version of that character. And then there was a love triangle in the show, and other than Wednesday, I didn't care about these other two characters that much. Also, these two other characters, in the first episode, I actually got these characters mixed up a lot, because they're both white with a sort of brownish blonde hair, and if you saw them from afar, you would definitely mistake these two for each other. I wish they would have put a little bit more different, I don't know, I wish it would have made them a little more distinct from each other, because I did get confused with them a little bit, but as the show went on, I kind of recognized these characters a little more, so I got used to them. But at the beginning, I actually got these characters mixed up for each other. But speaking of the love triangle, I thought this love triangle was not the worst one I'd ever seen. The worst one I've ever seen was like in Korra. The one in Legend of Korra was so bad. It was like so unbelievably bad. It almost ruined 2 seasons because of that. It was like really, really bad. Here, it was actually kind of nerfed a little bit. I heard that other people were saying that like they didn't like the love triangle either, and I was definitely not a fan of this one because one, I didn't care about like 2 of the characters in it. And then, like, one, I didn't think they were even, like, that great. Like, I thought they were okay as characters, and I didn't think they were that great as love interests either. And, like, this show, it does kind of have a nerfed relationship, though. Like, it is, like, kind of nerfed compared to other ones. They don't make the biggest deal out of it, like in Korra. Like, in Korra, they put a lot of focus on it, and it gets really bad, really annoying. Here, it was a little bit more nerfed, which made it more, like, tolerable, but I still didn't think it was that great. I still didn't think it was that great. One thing about Wednesday that is very interesting is Jenna Ortega's acting, because it actually is very impressive. A lot of people were like saying this, like, oh my gosh, the acting was incredible. That was one of the things that I was thinking was going to be overrated like the rest of the show. But no, the acting was actually really impressive, because when you have a character that doesn't like make a lot of like facial expressions and stuff, and it's a very stoic character, you might think that that's a character that would be easy to act as or be able to like just stand still and don't move. But there's a lot more to it. Like, there's a scene where one of the Addams family members is hurt, like very, very hurt. And Wednesday actually cries. And because that's the only bit of emotion that she ever shows, it actually is very impactful. There's a lot of there's a lot you can get from that one scene, because it's one of the only scenes where Wednesday cries in the whole show. So it's kind of good when when Wednesday doesn't show any emotion. The moment she does show any sort of emotion, it means something. And I like that a lot. There's some scenes where she smiles, she'll give like a smirk. Sometimes she'll blink too. She doesn't blink throughout most of the show, but when she does blink, you know something's up. There's a scene where she almost gets like caught trying to look for something, and she starts blinking because she doesn't really know what to do. And you know, little touches like that do add to the acting a lot, and I think it adds to the character a lot. Another thing I'll give this show is that I think the Tim Burton feel actually works in this show. A lot of other Tim Burton projects, the Tim Burton feel doesn't work. Like those weird Alice in Wonderland films, or just everything else he's worked on in the past couple of years. You know what I'm talking about. Here, I actually think it worked a lot. I felt like this was the perfect thing for Tim Burton to get his hands on and to work on. I actually liked the feel that he gave off. It was a very, like, gothic feel, and it had this, like, I like the, Nevermore a lot, too. I like the idea of Nevermore. It looks like something straight out of, like, Hotel Transylvania. It looks like a Hotel Transylvania, like, school or something, like a boarding school. It looks awesome. I really liked the way that it looked. I like the creativity behind it. This idea, like, it's a school for outcasts, you know? I like the idea that even the police know that. They're like, yeah, like, there's that weird school over there. Maybe the murders are coming from there, you know? I like that a lot. There was a lot of creativity in this show. And overall, I would say that, like, its writing, its characters, and everything, I would say that overall it is well put together. I just think that when people were saying, like, it's so funny, it's so good, like, I honestly, like, I don't remember a lot of jokes because I don't remember there being that many, and I don't remember them being funny. I don't remember there being any, like, funny jokes in this. If I'm looking for humor, I'm gonna go watch Cobra Kai. Maybe I'll watch Stranger Things. If I'm looking for a mystery, I'll go watch Stranger Things. You know, it's Wednesday is good. It is a good show. But if people say, like, oh, I love it for its humor, I'd rather watch Cobra Kai. The humor over there is way better. If you're like, oh, well, I like it for its mystery, I would rather watch Stranger Things. I feel like its mystery is better. You know, I think one of the reasons why so many people liked Wednesday, though, was because it is such a different show than everything else on Netflix. It is such a different show, you know? It takes pieces of Addams Family, Tim Burton, Stranger Things, all of these, like even Hotel Transylvania. It takes pieces of all of these amazing films and shows and all these people, and it crams it all into one weird but unique show, you know? I actually think that this show is very unique, and it stands out among the crowd, you know? I feel like maybe that's one of the reasons why so many people like it, and why so many people got into it the way they did, you know? I think that's the reason why so many people got into the show the way they did. They loved it so much because it was so unique. There really isn't another show out on Netflix that's like it. But like I said, overall, I thought it was good. I thought it was well put together, but I didn't think it was the flawless masterpiece that everyone was saying it was. I enjoyed it a lot, but it wasn't perfect. I am looking forward to season 2 though. I am looking forward to them improving the story, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But like I said, I would rather watch Stranger Things. I feel like it does everything that Wednesday does, but better. But what do y'all think of Wednesday? Is it good? Is it overrated? Have you seen it? I would love to know in the comments. But thank you all so much for watching. God bless you guys. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. God bless you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.